Hey, Joe, what do you got for us tonight?
Well, tonight's show was about the mysterious death of Karen Silkwood, who'd begun working at Kerr-McGee's plutonium production plant in central Oklahoma in the early 1970s. In the months prior to her death, Karen had been quietly collecting evidence of safety negligence and falsified documents that she claimed would cause a major scandal for her employer. However, on the night she left for Oklahoma City to meet a New York Times reporter and blow the whistle, her car was found wrecked off the highway, her dead body pinned inside. Was Karen's death a simple accident, or was she murdered to keep a company's secrets?
Quiet your mind. Ever since the Earth has circled the sun, there have been fantastic tales of wonder and mystery that the faint of heart dare not discuss. But 3 brave, uninformed souls have the brass to tackle every extraordinary happenstance, from the modern age to the dawn of Mantis.
Welcome to Dawn of Mantis podcast, true crime, mysteries, and more. I'm Ivan with Joe and Sam. So plutonium, man, I like anything nuclear, man. So you found a case right up my alley.
Yeah, I had no idea, and I apologize. This is a listener-suggested episode, and I can't remember which listener. I'm so sorry, but someone...
But hey, that listener knows.
I think it was my cousin Tammy, I want to say. But anyways, they sent me a picture of just like an article, who killed Karen Silkwood. That's all they sent me. And I was like, well, okay. So I asked AI, who killed Karen Silkwood? And then it gave me some incredible information that resulted in...
Before we started recording, Sam said he knew something about this case. You want to talk about that now?
Yeah, so I had a science teacher in high school, and he would talk about this.
Really?
A lot.
Really?
That's awesome.
And I haven't thought about it for 25 years.
Was it like the conspiracy angle?
Yeah.
Okay.
He also said when he dies, which he passed years ago, but he also said that when he died, he wanted to be stuffed and sent into space.
Oh, sounds like a cool teacher.
Yeah, he was really cool. He wore moccasins like every day.
Cool.
He was just really cool. He had, ponytail and
eccentric.
Beard and everything.
Okay.
But yeah, he would talk about this all the time.
Okay. So shall we get started?
We shall.
The Kerr-McGee Corporation was an American energy company founded in 1929 by Oklahoma businessman Robert S. Kerr and geologist Dean A. McGee, Kerr-McGee. The company began as an oil exploration and production enterprise during the early development of the Oklahoma oil fields. Throughout the mid-20th century, Kerr-McGee expanded into offshore drilling and became an early pioneer in deep water exploration. By the 1950s and 60s, it operated across the United States and internationally, growing into one of the largest independent oil companies in the country. During the Cold War era, Kerr-McGee entered the nuclear materials industry. Through a contract with the Atomic Energy Commission, it operated uranium and plutonium-related facilities located throughout the central and western part of the country. 2 in New Mexico, 1 in Arizona, 1 in Oregon, and 2 in Oklahoma. It was one of the Oklahoma plants that is the focus of our episode today, specifically the Cimarron Fuel Fabrication Site, which was located on the bank of the Cimarron River about 20 miles north of Oklahoma City and just 5 miles south of Crescent, a typical little Oklahoma town of about 1,500 people. The Cimarron Fuel Fabrication Site produced mixed oxide fuel rods for nuclear reactors and employed about 150 people, one of which was the subject of our episode, Karen Silkwood.
And when you're talking about that free energy stuff, I mean, there's nothing that gets closer than nuclear power.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, if you just think you've got some rods that you have in a vat of water, basically, it's not always that way, but, they're just creating heat.
Because of the fission, right? Nuclear fission?
Yeah.
You're right. It's as close as you will ever get of creating energy from basically nothing, right?
Yeah, because it's just, high energy particles flying around. It's crazy to think about. To me, I've always thought about it. It's almost magic. It's a magic rock. It really is. The Australians, like the Aborigines in Australia, where there's like one of the most concentrated place of uranium naturally. You'll go back like hundreds, if not thousands of years, and the tribal people would talk about how there was like a sleeping dragon under the ground.
Really?
And that ground should not be messed with. But I mean, you have to go down deep to get it. And also, it just comes off as rock. I mean, you've got to get all the uranium out of the rock, obviously. So, I mean, even if they found a rock, they wouldn't know. So somehow they knew. It's always crazy to me when a native people know things that without the scientific method, they just know.
Yeah. It's like when you go back tens of thousands of years and you find drawings that are accurate of the solar system.
Yeah.
And you're like, how in the hell?
Yeah, way before a telescope.
Yeah. How did they know? It's insane.
We were talking about this on the drive over here. I think there's just like, there are smart people now, there are smart people then. And if you get a smart person that has enough time and motivation, you can come up with some pretty awesome things. Instead, modern people now would be like, well, aliens helped them. It's like, come on. I mean, you had smart people and then you had slavery all throughout history. I mean, we could make some pretty amazing things with those two things.
Yeah. Like Louis C.K. says, if you just throw enough, slavery and human suffering at something, you can get a lot done.
Yeah. And everyone always thinks like, hey, this has got to be done in their lifetime. Well, no, it doesn't. This thing could take 300 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, that's my 1000th time to slam Ancient Aliens on this show.
Which I still love. I can't help it.
I mean,
I can't help it.
I watch it too, but it's a comedy for me.
So let's meet Karen Silkwood, shall we? Since she is the main star of our episode today. She was born on February 19th, 1946 in Longview, Texas, the first of three daughters to Merle and Bill Silkwood. Merle was her mother. Now, I was not familiar with Merle being a woman's name, so I had to make sure that was true, and that is true.
Maybe of its time, it was more of a common name. Maybe I've never heard of it.
I never have either. Not in, I know Merle Haggard, but, I don't know Merle like the female. That's just, it seems very hard to reconcile in my brain that a Merle would be a girl.
Like a freight train headed for hell. I play that song a lot. I
love it, dude. Her family moved shortly after her birth, so Karen grew up primarily in the small town of Nederland, Texas, located just a few miles from Beaumont in the southeast part of the state. Everybody knows Beaumont.
Yes.
Though Karen was obviously pretty, she was much more a tomboy than a beauty queen. She was actually a scrappy little kid who was familiar. She was a familiar sight around town, like usually riding her bike or playing with her friends at the tennis courts. She was always outside. And she went on frequent camping trips with her dad. Karen was also very intelligent. She was a straight-A student and a regular on the honor roll. She also played flute in the high school band. She played volleyball and was active in science club. So science was actually her favorite subject in school, along with math. While the rest of her friends took home ec, Karen decided to take chemistry. She was the only girl in her grade to do so, and she quickly made her way to the top of the class. As a teenager, Karen did volunteer work as a candy striper at the Mid-Jefferson County Hospital, by the way, for people who don't know what that is. That was basically just a nurse volunteer. But they wore red and white striped uniforms, and they became known as candy stripers.
Yep.
History facts. Her parents hoped it was the beginning of a career in nursing, but Karen had her sights set on becoming a medical researcher. When she graduated in June of 1964, with honors, by the way, she won a scholarship to Lamar University's Institute of Technology in Beaumont. Karen was the first member of her family to attend college. That summer, she spent some time at her grandparents' home in East Texas, and that's where she met a guy named Bill Meadows. This guy would change her life. Bill was visiting from California, and he and Karen hit it off instantly, thus beginning a Grease-style summer romance, minus the random bursting into song and coordinated dance numbers.
That's 2 episodes in a row.
That's what I was about to say.
You mentioned Grease.
Summer lovin'.
Yeah. Just imagine in real life, like you've been gone for the summer and you meet your buddies back at school. What happened during the summer, and you were like, you want to know what happened? And then some music starts and everybody lines up and starts dancing in unison. And you're like, I went down to Little Rock to visit my grandparents, and I saw this girl, and she was really hot, and we made out under the bleachers at the football game. right?
Friendship over. Wait, you were supposed to be dancing and doing backup with me and doing that finger snapping thing. Sorry, buddy.
And going back to Greece, I'd like to say, you've helped me work on cars, Ivan. We didn't do a dance number about it, did we?
Not too many times.
Remember when I lived right next to you in Lincoln, I bought that old Chevy truck, that square body, and I dropped I think it was like a 305 in it, which was terrible. But you helped me with that. But you're like, what should we do? And I wasn't like, first we should get the cherry picker and drop it into the truck. To the truck, yeah, 305. We're going to make this truck drive down the road. Going to make this truck drive to and from work where I can make more money to beep, beep, beep. Like we didn't do that.
No, I don't remember doing that. I remember laying under, getting that transmission lined up on it. And for some reason, we had a lot of trouble.
Oh, a shitload of trouble.
If we can get one bolt started, we'll be good.
He's not lying.
I got it. Oh, no, it's cross-threaded. Grease lightning.
Listen, man, you want to talk about, here's how much of a redneck I am. I bought this truck for $40.
Oh,
remember?
yeah.
Out of a field, it had a tree growing up. Like the hood was open. It had been sitting there for 20 years. A tree had grown through the hood and out the hood. And I cut that down and pulled it out and greased it up where the wheels would turn, reused the same transmission. The engine in it was locked up. And I bought a used 305 out of like a Firebird out of a junkyard. And me and Ivan dropped it in. And by God, we had that truck driving, man.
Oh, yeah.
We did it. We had it going. I drove it, man. I drove it.
Yeah, I remember that. It was fun.
It was like an 84 or 83 Chevy Silverado.
Yeah.
Good times. But we did not do a coordinated song and dance while we were building it.
No.
That's my point.
I mean, I could see I could be on one of those creeper things, and every once in a while you'd roll out and sing a line and roll back in. If I was the director, I would have it doing that.
So it was a Grease-style romance, her and Bill, right? Karen and Bill. In August, though, the summer ends, and you got to go back to your respective lives. So the two parted ways. Karen went back to Beaumont to start college, and Bill, who was a year younger than her, he went back to California to finish his senior year of high school. Over the next few months, the pair kept in touch with frequent phone calls and letters. Then, at the end of Karen's freshman year at Lamar University, Bill made the long journey from California to Beaumont, Texas to pick her up, and the pair eloped.
Wow.
Well, they attempted to. Their plan was to run off and get married in Louisiana and start a new life, but, and this is according to, I saw interviews with him. I think this documentary I found was in the late 90s, but anyway, it was Bill himself telling the story. So he said that they had taken off to try to elope, but they were too young and no one would perform the ceremony for them. They had trouble finding the guy to do it. So instead, they returned to Texas and they just told everyone they were married.
Okay.
That sounds like a teenage thing. Just tell everyone we're married.
Sure.
Doesn't matter. It's where our hearts are that matters.
Yeah.
Karen's parents were horrified by this. They wanted her to stay in college. Obviously, her plans had changed because her next move was to drop out and end her scholarship and take off with Bill. Following this, so her and Bill, they moved to Corsicana, Texas, where he got a job as a machinist for Mobil Oil, and Karen found work as a clerk for a hat manufacturer. In November of 1966, Karen had her first child, a daughter named Christy. 2 years later, the couple moved to Duncan, Oklahoma, which is about an hour south of Oklahoma City. And there, she and Bill had two more kids, a boy named Michael and a girl named Dawn. As the 60s came to a close, it appeared from the outside that the couple and their three children were living a charmed life, but that was soon to end.
More of a semi-charm kind of life.
I want something else to get me through this.
I like that song, and I don't care who knows it. Even the doot.
Weren't they the same people that stepped and that step back from that ledge?
Yeah, I don't like that song as much, but how it's going to be isn't awesome. That's probably my favorite song.
Yeah. How it's gonna be. That's a good one. Who are they? What were they called? Who are they?
Third Eye Blind.
Third Eye Blind. Yeah, because I always used to say Third Eye Brown. And I thought that was really funny when I was younger, and I still do.
You stand by that.
By the way, oh man, I don't even know if I should say this. I'm going to say it. The Third Eye Brown thing just unlocked something in my head, and I just have to know. I have to know if anyone else feels this way. Let's just take a survey right now. We'll start with you two, and the listeners, you can chime in. Here we go. I have conjured up over my lifetime, I'm going to set the notes down. Over my lifetime, I've conjured up something in my brain, he only comes out at night, and his name is the booty hole troll. Okay? Bear with me. The look...
Is it kind of something like the tooth fairy?
No, not at all.
Okay.
He's after something totally different. So anytime you're sleeping at night, you're right. And I don't know who sleeps in what condition. I don't know if you wear just underwear or if you wear pajama pants or if you sleep in the nude. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But I'll tell you this. The moment that you're laying in bed, let's say you're like fetal position on your side, the moment that the blanket gets pulled up to where your butt is like, it's not covered, it's no longer covered, it's just out and open to the world, I always picture this little troll guy, and he's got like one long spindly finger, and he's just going to come up and just go, kabow, just right in your butt. I call him the booty hole troll. Your butt feels exposed, and do you understand what I'm saying? The minute the blanket's not covering it, it's just like, oh my God, anything could happen.
So you think the only thing that's keeping him from doing that is a blanket?
Yes!
Well, blanket is his kryptonite.
I didn't say it made sense. It's just the minute your butt is exposed, it's just you feel the cool open
I can
air.
hear him now. He's like, if it wasn't for that blanket. Gas, it's got the blanket.
Anyone listening right now, please chime in.
Well, listen, I'll tell you right now that I've covered my face before when I was a kid, afraid that there was like a killer in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes no sense. It's like, they're not going to know I'm in bed.
Oh, I was going to kill him, but the blanket's over his face.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm with you on that, but yeah, it's quite a bit different than yours, but it has similar.
So my classic sleeping position is on my right side facing the whole rest of my family because we all co-sleep like a bunch of hippies. And so that means my butt is at the edge of the bed, and any moment that my daughter or one of my daughters like pulls the blanket, or my wife from the other side just pulls it over me enough to where my butt is no longer under the blanket. It's just facing the open universe.
Why don't you face the other way then?
It's not as comfortable. My arm goes to sleep real quick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my left arm goes to sleep real quick. If I sleep on my left side, so I'm always on my right side. And the minute it's open, it just feels like anything could happen. And I just conjured up like the booty hole troll. He's just waiting for something like that, and he's just going to appear and just go, kabam! He's just going to pop you right there.
I mean, it just sounds like a perverted version of Monsters, Inc. in a way. That's where we get our power.
I didn't say it was a rational fear. I just feel really vulnerable when that blanket comes off, when it slides over the hiney. And it's just, you feel that cool breeze. You're just like, oh no, it's exposed.
I feel like I live in a pretty good neighborhood. So, I mean, maybe you could live some places where
there's no neighborhood immune from the booty hole troll. I don't care where you live. I don't care if it's a gated neighborhood or if it's in wherever, a trailer park in Texas.
That'll be something either Ashley or Sam could AI. I want to see this. I want to see this guy. I want to see this booty hole troll. You want to see what AI thinks about it. You got to give it all those details.
He's just a little spindly looking creepy guy, but I do know that he's just got like the index finger on his right hand is just abnormally giant and long.
I kind of see him having like hooves, almost like the boogeyman on, I know you've seen the boogeyman on Ghostbusters, the cartoon.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I almost see him like looking like that.
I can kind of see that as long as he's got one abnormally huge finger.
Yeah.
That's the scary part. Well, I always picture, since you did the Christmas troll a few years ago, I picture him kind of having that face.
Oh, yeah.
And he just walks in and he's just, I don't know, man. He's just looking for an exposed booty.
What if I snuck that in like your house in your room and you woke up and you looked over? He was right.
He was right.
Or I was right. I've never had that fear. But I mean,
really?
So did it start when you were a kid and then you just kept it all this time?
Yeah. So you're saying if you're like laying on your side at night sleeping, you and Sam both, if the covers get drug away from you enough that your rear end is just out in the open, you don't have any fears at all? Or you don't have any concerns?
I sleep with Jennifer every night, but I have my own quilt and she has her own quilt.
So your butt's never exposed?
No, so that doesn't happen. But, you know, so maybe, I mean, my first thought wouldn't be that. It would be like, my first thought would be a draft, not a violation.
A little mythical creature that wants to.
Like, you must have been in lucid dreaming one time and you thought, oh no, that has to be what happened. You had to be having a weird dream. And at that same time, it coincided. You know, I think that's what happened.
And you'd think I would sleep in like much more sturdy pants, but I just sleep in underwear. You'd think with that fear, I'd sleep in like real thick sweatpants. But my legs get hot, Ivan. Legs get hot. So I have to balance the concern of my booty hole against the concern of having hot legs under the covers.
What you do is you go to Atwoods and you buy some of the thickest jeans that they make for like rustling cattle, cut them as shorts, and that's what you wear. That's what you should wear. I would say something leather that motorcycle people wear, but the only problem is those chaps don't have a back.
Well, they don't move. Like, okay, here's something that every woman...
Well, do you want security or do you want comfort?
Well, I want both.
Well, I can't help you. You're going to have to sacrifice some of that security for comfort.
Now you sound like Bush during the Patriot Act years.
I know, that's episode 2 we've talked about this.
If you want security, you're going to have to give up all your freedoms. Well, I guess so. Who was it, Ben Franklin, that said if you give up all your freedoms for security, you deserve neither?
I don't know if that was Franklin, but
somebody
it was
said
somebody.
That, and it was really brilliant.
Yeah, no, it was somebody throughout history.
But having said that, like any female listening, and I don't know if this has ever been articulated to you by a man, but I want to let you know, sleeping for us, there's a whole different mechanism to it that you all don't have because you all don't have junk. You do have junk, but it's all internal. All our junk is external. So half a guy's night is adjusting things where you're comfortable again. When you roll over, it's like, oh God, I rolled on that, or this is not in the right spot. Listen, no one wants to talk about it, but I will. You got to open up your legs. That's why most of us sleep with a big old thick pillow between our legs because they can't have them together because of the junk anyway. But then the junk still wants to go its own separate ways. And half your night is spent adjusting it where you're comfortable again. Am I right?
Sounds like the beginning of the My Pillow guy commercial. Have you ever had this problem? You're right. You're not wrong.
Yeah, every guy knows. You can't just like close your legs and roll on your side and go to sleep. Stuff needs to be in certain places. It's not comfortable.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, all right. You want to move on?
Comfort is key.
Comfort is key. All right. Let's return to the episode.
Let's do that.
Over the years, Bill was slowly... I hope you leave that in too, Sam, by the way. I hope you leave every word of that in. That was brilliant. Over the years, Bill slowly became withdrawn from his family and was spending more and more time away from home. He also squandered much of the family's money, and the financial strain made things difficult at home. Eventually, Bill met another woman and began having an affair. That rat bastard, that slimy, of course, like every man, every freaking man. But this affair turned serious. Karen found out about the affair early in 1972, and when she did, Bill refused to end things. When it became clear that he had chosen this other woman over his family, Karen demanded a divorce to end their common-law marriage. Remember, they never actually got married, but they had been together at this point long enough that they were common-law married.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Bill agreed only on one condition, that she relinquish custody of the children. So fearing, and this, let's discuss this, okay, because this is what I read. Fearing that she could not support her children on her own, Karen relented. In a later interview, Karen's daughter, Christy, said her mother left the family. This is crazy, guys, and I'm not making this up. You know the joke that I make? I've made it on 100 different episodes where I'm like, hey, you went out to get a pack of smokes and never came back, right?
Yeah.
Her daughter, Christy, in an interview that I watched, she literally said, Mom said she was going out for a pack of cigarettes and she didn't come back.
Wow.
So that literally happened. That cliche joke I make all the time, that actually happened in this
Remember,
case.
Dusty Slay had that bit where he said his dad said that? Like, yeah, he came back. Would have been better if he hadn't. Yeah, I mean, it's a very cliche thing, but I mean, obviously she decided before that. But it's sad. I mean, if that's true, that's sad. There's always child support. I mean, you don't have to just give up your custody, but every situation's different. I'm not condoning her leaving, though, but, sad.
Going back to a previous episode where I said, it's not everyone is all good or all bad.
Sure.
We want our heroes to just be purely virtuous and all good.
Sure.
But it is a fact that, Winston Churchill was a drunk and he had a lot of problems. I'm going to make people upset, but it is a fact that Martin Luther King had multiple affairs. Even though he was an incredible human being with civil rights, he had faults. It's a fact also that Karen Silkwood, although she was an incredibly brave whistleblower that blew the lid off this whole thing with this company and probably saved a lot of lives, she was not a good mom.
Yeah.
I mean, she was just not. Because in the documentary I watched, the narrator said when it came to that decision where she was supposed to or he had told her, you know, you can have a divorce if you give me rights to the kids. They said, in a move that was the hardest decision of her life, Karen relented. That statement would ring true if afterwards, even if Karen relented custody, she constantly visited and sent, you know, correspondence and called and checked in on the kids. She did none of that.
Yeah.
She just vanished. Her own kids, I saw interviews with a couple of them. She's gone. Like, it was no more. They didn't even, I think they got a couple Christmas cards from her in the following years, and that was it.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was the hardest decision of her life. I don't think it was. If you never even talk to your kids again, I don't think it was that hard of a decision. But not to take away from her later.
Sure, yeah.
That we're going to get into.
It's just the facts.
People are complicated.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right. In August of 1972, Karen Silkwood found herself single and childless. She decided to head 80 miles north to Oklahoma City, where she applied for a job at Kerr-McGee and was hired as a metallography laboratory technician with the Kerr-McGee Corporation, and she was sent to their Cimarron River Plutonium Project plant up near Crescent, the one we talked about earlier. So Karen then went to work in the metallurgy lab, where she polished and inspected fuel rods packed with radioactive plutonium pellets. Not long after starting at Kerr-McGee, Karen met a coworker named Drew Stevens, who was also going through a divorce. Trauma bonding. All right, sorry. I just like to throw that in.
You said it like that, and I could see that on a shirt. Just those two words on a shirt. I'm with trauma bonding.
The pair quickly hit it off and became a couple. So each had similar ambitions with chemistry and mathematics, and Drew was also the one who got Karen to join the Oil, Chemical, and Atomic Workers Union, or OCAW, or OCA.
That's what they called it. Welcome to OCA.
Drew had concerns about the company's safety procedures involving the handling of plutonium rods and other materials. In January of 1973, just a few months after joining the union, it went on strike against Kerr-McGee, demanding better wages and safer working conditions. The workers picketed for the following 10 weeks, but Kerr-McGee did not budge 1 inch.
What was the safety thing? What was it about?
We'll get to that. They were not following or even taught the proper safety procedures in handling plutonium. It's pretty horrific. We'll find out.
Think Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
Where he drops it at the beginning of the... Yeah. In the end, the strike failed miserably, and everyone returned to work depressed, defeated, dejected, and bitter. It also drew a bold line between non-union and union workers. Even deeper was the divide between non-union workers and the union activists, like Karen, who began to fear she had a target placed on her back. Even though she was still new to the company and thus new to the fight, her resolve was to improve working conditions and safety protocols. And, that resolve only grew stronger after the strike. It didn't diminish because the strike did fail miserably. But thankfully for Karen, life outside of work was way better. Drew was a bit of a rebel, and Karen was more than happy to join him. The couple were a frequent sight at the bars and dives in the area, and Karen also picked up on Drew's love of motorcycles and fast cars. They'd race dirt bikes up and down the mud flats along the Cimarron River, and Drew even built her a custom Honda for Karen to race in local motocross events.
Wow.
Pretty cool, man. Unfortunately, though, she apparently didn't make time to drive down to see her kids. She'd prioritized her new man, her new job, and her newfound hobbies over everything else. Between that and her job, Karen's time was spoken for, and it was about to get much worse. Because Kerr-McGee had a huge contract with the U.S. government to produce nuclear fuel rods, and they had recently fallen behind. In response, the company demanded more productivity from their workers, pushing them to 12-hour shifts 7 days a week. The extra work created more accidents, and the frustrated workers began to slack off on safety measures. By the way, no one at the facility had been properly trained or even informed about the dangers of the materials they'd been working with.
We just need them fuel rods. 12 hours, 7 days a week. Those idiots in Washington would never work that much. They go in for a couple weeks and do some votes, and then they go home.
Yeah, then they go on vacation.
Yeah, continue.
So in fact, one popular game involved, quote unquote, getting hot, which meant getting contaminated on purpose with radiation because
Oh my God.
Yes, that meant if you got contaminated, if you walked through and it beeped that you were contaminated, you got a hot shower and the rest of the day off work. So that became a thing where it's like, oh, I'm just going to go get hot, man. I'm going to get off work early. Not realizing that, dude, you're going to have cancer in 10 years now. They didn't know.
Wow.
In July of 1974, Karen was contaminated for the first time, and definitely not on purpose. She noticed that the air sample filters in her lab indicated airborne radiation, so she had herself tested. She was the only one to get contaminated on her shift that day, which she thought was weird, leading her to suspect someone had purposefully done it. The plant's health advisors downplayed the level of contamination, but required Karen to submit to weekly urine and fecal samples for continuous monitoring of her radiation levels.
There's not just alarms in the spaces they're in? Like we've had Geiger counters forever. Well, not forever.
From what I understand, they were air filter monitors that you would have to look at or something. And then you go get tested if that, you know what I mean?
Never heard of a beep? Gotta look at it. Incompetence, man.
Oh, that probably costs more, Ivan.
Yeah.
Well, this is about making money.
If we had those, they'd be going off all the time, and then we wouldn't get any of those fuel rods made.
Yeah. Use your brain, damn it. What's wrong with you? So, this event concerned Karen and motivated her to become more active in the Oil, Chemical, and Atomic Workers Union, or OCA, specifically over safety concerns. Shortly after, Karen was elected to the union's 3-person bargaining committee, the first woman to hold that position. Karen then began painstakingly documenting every spill or safety hazard within the plant. She constantly carried a notebook filled with details and interviews with workers who'd witnessed violations. Some admired her determination to increase safety standards, but others feared her efforts would result in the plant being shut down, and in a place where good jobs were hard to come by, that meant no jobs for them. So there were some people that were like, I don't give a shit what violations are going on. I'm getting paid good. Mind your own damn business, lady. That was the attitude of a lot of people there.
Good jobs are hard to come by. Cancer is easy to come by, though, there. That's a piece of cake.
It's plentiful. Yeah. Regardless, Karen Silkwood was quietly building a case against Kerr McGee. In September of 1974, Karen and 2 co-workers flew to the Oil, Chemical, and Atomic Workers Union headquarters in Washington, D.C. There, they produced Karen's exhaustive research that revealed this many safety violations at the Cimarron plant. When union officials informed the 3 whistleblowers of the true dangers of plutonium exposure and how even minimal contamination could cause cancer years down the road, they were horrified. Then Karen dropped another bombshell. Kerr McGee performed x-rays on the fuel rods to verify there were no cracks before sending them out, right? However, she had personally witnessed the x-rays being tampered with, resulting in several cracked fuel rods being sent out. Like they would fill in or cover up the crack. They would tamper with the x-ray images to make it look like there were no cracks and send them out.
They wouldn't want to plummet productivity.
Faulty fuel rods could cause a nuclear disaster, so this was obviously a pretty big concern to the union. Karen also claimed the quality control records at the plant were also being tampered with. These were all serious allegations, but before the union could act, they needed proof. And Karen agreed to go get it. The assignment involved her going undercover. It was literally dangerous, but Karen readily agreed. Once the evidence had been collected, the union planned to leak it to the New York Times reporter David Burnham, who would go public. The entire operation depended on Karen's ability to collect evidence. So, once back at work, she began to document the plant's many safety hazards, shady record keeping, and tampering.
Why did it take an undercover sting to...
I know.
I mean, why couldn't some inspector just say, hey, we're here to inspect you. You're in the United States of America and we have an allegation like this and it could be dire for these employees. Oh, we've got to send an agent in. It's such a stupid thing. It's the stupidest thing I've heard in a long time. Oh, we gotta send somebody at their own danger in to but the thing is the reality of this is I know the answer to my own question. They can't do stuff like that because they will find the thing that they know they'll find.
Yeah.
So that's why they don't. And I don't care who hears this. That's the truth.
Yeah.
you shouldn't have to send some worker in. It's so stupid. But continue on, sir.
Well, yeah, even in my job, which is not anywhere near like the importance of a nuclear catastrophe, but I treat wastewater. And there are rules within, I mean, there's literally written in the handbooks and stuff that, if you falsify documents or lie about lab results, you will literally, there are people who are in prison right now who falsified lab results on water samples. And I guarantee you, DEQ, if they heard about that, they wouldn't go on like a months-long undercover investigation. They would just send some DEQ people down and they would do an audit on you and they would just ream your ass. I mean, it's crazy.
But when there's a lot of money and powerful people involved, for some reason, it's got to be a spy ops.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, continue on.
Once back at work, she began to document the plant's many safety hazards, shady record keeping, and tampering. She also began sneaking into authorized areas to locate and retrieve documentation proving the plant was altering records. It's actually a federal offense to steal documents from a nuclear facility. So Karen really was flirting with danger on many levels. On October 7th, she called Steve Wodka, her union contact in Washington. That conversation was recorded, and we're going to play a clip from that now.
In the laboratory, we've got 18 and 19-year-old boys, and 20 and 21. And they didn't have the schooling, so they don't understand what radiation is. They don't understand, Steve.
So, yeah, I know that was only a few seconds also, but I at least, I just wanted her voice to be played. I mean, that was Karen Silkwood. That was her voice, and kind of maybe humanizes her and lets you know she was a real person. And that was some real concern coming from her.
Yeah.
So the stress of such an operation quickly took its toll on her. Over the next few months, she dropped from 115 to just 94 pounds and had been experiencing insomnia that her doctor prescribed Quaaludes for. It was the 70s. In fact, the stress got so bad that at one point Karen decided to abandon the entire operation. She called home to her parents to express her concerns and to inform them that she was going to put in her 2 weeks' notice and leave Kerr-McGee. But then something happened. While at work one day, Karen discovered there was a significant amount of plutonium missing from the plant. Where'd it go?
Doc Brown.
It wasn't the Libyans. It was Cimarron, Oklahoma. Guess how much plutonium was missing? Just guess.
22 pounds.
40 goddamn pounds.
Golly.
40 pounds.
I thought I was high.
You're halfway there.
40 pounds of plutonium was missing. That is enough to make 3 nuclear bombs. Just gone. I mean, that's kind of a concern. Maybe a national security concern. Maybe 40 pounds.
I would think so.
Karen was absolutely distraught over the discovery. She quietly informed a few of her coworkers, but was surprised at their blasé attitude towards it. Yeah, shit gets lost all the time. Couldn't find my car keys yesterday.
And I mean, was that commonly known?
I don't think so.
Or just the inside people knew?
I don't know.
Nothing will get agents out there. I mean, I understand why they're not just flooding the place, because people will just like burn records and cover up. But it's like I always say, do your jobs.
Do your jobs, damn it.
I don't know.
I don't know how any worker, like even just anybody.
Like, why wouldn't you just get some agents down there covertly and start talking to some of these people on their days off?
Yeah.
Like, why are you talking to one lady and sending her in there?
And it was the early 70s, so were they really that ignorant to the...
No, by then they knew.
Right.
You knew a lot about...
That was 30 years after the atomic bombs.
Yeah.
Surely they knew. But apparently the people she told, hey, there's 40 pounds of plutonium missing. They were just like, shit happens.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy.
You ever lose your car keys? It's the same thing.
Come on. Think real hard. Where was the last place you saw that 40 pounds of plutonium?
Imagine you were the 40 pounds of plutonium. Where would you be?
I'll tell this story really fast. About 3 weeks ago, our little 22-month-old, we were all eating, and she was done, and she's walking around. She walks over to my wife's end of the table and grabs her wadded-up napkin, and she walks over and throws it in the trash. And, of course, we were all clapping, celebrating, good girl. And so she claps, and good girl, she claps, right? After that, in her mind, immediately was like, oh, everything in this house goes in the trash now. So she immediately walks over, she grabs her pacifier, throws it in the trash. Good girl, clapping. We're like, no, no. Car keys, wallet, TV remote, binkies, toys. You name it, man. You name it. Every time we turn around, it's in the trash can. And anytime, sometimes we don't even know what she's doing, but we hear the lid shut and we look over and she's clapping and she's saying, good girl. And we're like, oh, shit. We have to run over and get it out of the trash can.
You're like, boy, this house is spick and span all of a sudden.
Good girl. Good girl. Yeah, she's so freaking cute. But yeah, every time you turn around, she's good girling it away from the trash can. So you're like, all right, what's in there?
Golly. Every bag gets inspected on its way to the road.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. But it's great. So less than a month after this, on November 5th, Karen tested positive for contamination. This time, a disturbingly high amount, mainly on her hands. So the way Karen and other workers handled these rods was through glove boxes. Not the one in your car,
Yeah.
These were lead-lined boxes with windows that you could look through, and they had thick gloves attached to holes in the walls. So everyone knows you stick your hands through those into the rubber gloves, and you
How
can
you interact with Bubble Boy.
That's right.
just like that. That's awesome. I never thought of that.
The second week in a row we bring up
Tobey Maguire?
the other one.
Wasn't he Bubble Boy?
Oh no, Travolta.
Oh, John. Oh, you're going way back.
No, that's the other one. There's two movies that are alike,
Yeah.
but Bubble Boy was the.
Tobey Maguire. Yeah, that was one of his first earlier movies, Bubble Boy. It was
Are you
ridiculous.
sure it's Tobey Maguire?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
I thought it was the other guy. I
No,
thought
it definitely wasn't Jake. I don't think it
wasn't?
was Jake Gyllenhaal. No, Sam's going to look it up right now.
It was Jake Gyllenhaal.
It was
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal. What the hell?
I knew it. I could tell.
cannot tell those two apart.
Yeah, and Travolta was in a movie like that too.
Like in the 70s.
Yeah, he was in like a suit thing. Right?
Yeah, man.
Remember,
I'm
he
pretty
was
sure
like,
that was true. Yeah.
Anyway, great movies. Go check them out.
Not great movies, but
Well, I don't know. I think the Gyllenhaal one was okay, right?
okay. Well,
We all
apparently
watched
not.
it.
I don't know. I could not tell the difference between him and Tobey Maguire, and I'm sorry. I just can't.
I mean, I even thought.
Hey,
it was
remember
Tobey
when
Maguire.
Jake Gyllenhaal was Spider-Man? Joe's like, yeah.
The only thing I'm certain
What's
of
funny about that?
was that Jake Gyllenhaal was in Donnie Darko. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
I know that one.
And Tobey Maguire was in Brokeback Mountain.
John Travolta's was the boy in the plastic bubble.
That's
right.
it. Yeah,
That's right.
Good job, man.
Yeah. I just remember he wanted to prove out. I can't remember which movie. I can't remember if it's the Travolta or the Gyllenhaal where he's like proving how good a shape he was in. And he did like a whole bunch of jumping jacks or push-ups or
In his
something.
bubble?
Yeah, in his bubble. And he beat somebody that wasn't in one. And I was like, see, I'm in a bubble. What's your excuse?
We just all need to be hermetically sealed.
That's right.
That's the problem.
He was just trying to prove, hey, I'm in this, but I'm still in great shape.
That's right. Good on him, whoever he was. So here's the deal, man. With the contamination being at the highest levels on Karen's hands, that means that either the gloves had leaked that she was handling this with, or plutonium was deliberately placed inside those gloves.
Yeah, one or the other.
Again, she was the only contaminated person on her shift. Pretty weird.
Yeah.
Pretty weird. The protocol for this high contamination was not fun. It was a shower and scrub down with powdered detergent and bleach. Like they scrubbed you with like a deck brush, like you scrub the poop deck on the USS Arizona or something. It was not fun. The next day, Karen returned to work. Man, she's glad that's over. Guess what? She's there an hour and a half. She contaminated again.
Wow.
Even higher this time. Bam. So this required another painful scrub down with detergent and bleach with a stiff bristle brush.
Which, I mean, I don't know anything about anything, but once you're contaminated, all those things have been into your cells. So I think,
Yeah. I don't think just a scrub down's gonna fix
yeah,
it.
I don't know.
I know the scrub down. We're going to get that plutonium. That's off you. I know the scrub down. Detergent and soap. You can find the reason that your hands are contaminated. Tantric is a badass band. I will stand by that. Tantric was amazing. So she gets contaminated again. She gets scrubbed down again. Karen was so appalled and concerned over the second event that she scrubbed her skin raw. I'd be freaked out too, my God, because now she knows, because of the union workers in Washington, the Union leaders, they actually told her the dangers of plutonium. The following day, November 7th, Karen was mortified to learn that she had tested positive once again. Every freaking day now, she's getting hammered with contamination. But here's the kicker. That day, she had not worked with or even been anywhere near any plutonium. So someone was contaminating her. Nasal swabs revealed that this time she had inhaled the plutonium. So now she's really freaked out. She realized that someone was deliberately exposing her to high levels of radiation and that she may very well have already been a dead man walking after so many contamination events. To find out where else other than the plant Karen could have been exposed, Kerr McGee sent out people to test Karen's car and her apartment. Her car tested clean, but her apartment, especially the bathroom and kitchen, were highly contaminated. Kerr McGee officials suggested Karen had contaminated herself in an effort to make the company look bad.
She contaminated herself, man.
There we go. Back to the Big Lebowski.
You want some plutonium? I'll get you some plutonium.
I'll get some plutonium tomorrow. Calmer than you are. You need to calm down, Walter. Calmer than you are. They sent out a decontamination squad to scrub down Karen's apartment.
2319. What's that from Monsters, Inc.?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Nearly every item in Karen's apartment was taken out, placed in barrels, and taken away to be buried. Everything she owned, man. All while she stood watching from the front yard, bawling her eyes out. I don't know why I'm laughing while I'm reading that, but...
No, it's such a vile thing.
You want to reread it?
No, it's good. Let's leave it in. It's real. It's real, man. Karen had lost everything. That night, she called her parents and told them she was done. She was coming home. But first, she needed to drive to Oklahoma City to see Drew. Remember Drew Stevens? Her man. Mm-hmm. He was up in OKC. While there, she sobbed uncontrollably and told him that she feared the company would do something, anything, to stop her from completing her mission, even if it meant killing her. Seeing that the situation was quickly escalating, union officials decided, hey, let's make our move now. Let's not wait any longer.
People, let's make her move now. How long did you say she'd been investigating?
It'd been months. It'd been several months.
Let's make her move now. They're like that turtle from Looney Tunes. I'm going to win this time.
They figured they would just roll with what they had, with what Karen had collected already. So they quickly arranged for Karen to meet with Times reporter David Burnham. But first, officials from the Atomic Energy Commission insisted that Karen, Drew, and her roommate be examined at the Center for Nuclear Research in Los Alamos, New Mexico. So I guess they wanted to get a more in-depth test of, how bad the radiation
I wouldn't
was.
trust them.
Well, on November 12th, the three made the trip to New Mexico. Drew and the roommate tested clean, but guess what? Guess what Karen tested?
High.
Yes. They found out that she had somehow, this time, ingested the plutonium. She had ingested it now. Still, doctors assured her that the levels were still within safe limits and that she would ultimately be totally fine. Karen was not buying it. Ivan's not either. I wish you guys could see Ivan right now, but he's a very frustrated man.
True crime's one thing, but when governments and big, rich, fat cats are involved, it's another... Because, at least with a true crime person, like, well, that guy killed several people. Okay, he's mentally ill, obviously. You could say that.
Yeah.
But with this, it's like, they like money.
Yeah.
So it's even worse.
Yeah.
You're not even mentally ill. You're just evil that you love money above everything else. So that's what gets so frustrating about all these.
Was it Chevrolet with the Corvair or was it Ford with the Pinto that they knew there was that critical weakness? Like if the car got rear-ended, it would burst into flames. But they literally did a study about how many people might die. And when the amount of money they knew they'd have to pay out in claims, for faulty deaths.
And they're like good with it.
When it was far less, when the profits were still more, they were like, let's go ahead and roll with it then.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Literal, pun intended.
Yeah, that's what they did. They were like, yeah, people will die. We'll have to pay out. But man, the profits are far going to outweigh that. And so some guy was like, well, then let's proceed.
I still believe in the Pinto. It's a good quality. So have you seen it? People are going to love it. The love for the Pinto is going to outweigh the death toll, and the profit margin pads it all.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah,
I think Firestone had a similar scandal.
probably.
Like they knew like the tread was separated. That happened when I was a kid. I think it was in the 90s or something. That I think it was Firestone tires. The tread was just coming off.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was a huge scandal and they knew about it.
Jerry Seinfeld had a bit about it. He said that Firestone, their tread flies off and it's killed people. It's like, comedy's different. If I told a joke that would kill people, I think I'd be pretty much done. But this company is still in business.
Hey, speaking of Ford, we have a Ford.
Pinto?
I actually would love to have a Pinto. I drive the shit out of one
Make
of those.
some modifications to that tank location.
Yeah, maybe put some steel in front of it. But we have a newer Ford, and we got a recall from the company, and it's like the pillars, which is like the two pieces of metal on the either side of the windshield.
Mm-hmm.
They have a plastic cover that just kind of snaps on,
Mm-hmm.
and it's weird too because the recall thing said you may notice a strange sound while you're driving. Yeah, those pillar covers come loose and just fly off and hit people.
Oh, wow. Has yours moved?
No, but it's loose.
Oh.
Because for like 2 weeks when I'm driving it, my wife and I are like, what's that? Like there's a weird rattling noise. We know now it's the pillar and it will fly off.
I never knew that was called a pillar.
Yeah, it's called a
I
pillar.
learned something new.
It's a pillar cover. And after I got that, I walked over.
You sound like a redneck saying pillow cover.
It's a pillar cover. Made of pure silk. It holds coolness in where you don't sweat on it.
Got memory foam.
2,000 thread. I don't know. Is that high? I'm
Yeah,
such an idiot.
that's actually really
There
high.
you go.
That's a quality sheet
High
right there.
thread count pillar cover.
But anyway, so the recall, you're gonna take it in, and the guy's gonna tighten a screw.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. So Karen returned to Crescent that same day and contacted the reporter, David Burnham, to set up that meeting in Oklahoma City the following day because she was determined to complete her mission. So that next day happened to be November 13th, 1974, the day. Karen attended a union meeting at a cafe in Crescent. There, she confided in a friend named Wanda Young that she'd been exposed to high levels of plutonium. She also told Wanda about her mission and showed her a binder full of documents that Karen claimed would result in a huge scandal for Kerr McGee. On that documentary we looked up a while ago, they actually have Wanda Young on there, and she recalls the meeting with her, so it's pretty cool.
Wow.
By the way, if anyone wants to see, it's on YouTube. I think it's just called Karen Silkwood Biography, if you put that in there.
Okay.
So Karen also revealed that she was heading to Oklahoma City that very night to a Holiday Inn to give that binder to a New York Times reporter. It's about to blow the lid off this whole thing. At 7 p.m. that very evening, Karen left Crescent to make the 30-mile drive to Oklahoma City to meet Drew, union contact Steve Wadka, and that New York Times reporter, David Burnham. Less than 30 minutes later, guess what?
She had a wreck.
Yes. Someone makes a call. They had found her 1973 Honda Civic off the highway, crumpled into a concrete ditch opening just 10 miles from the Crescent. Karen was still inside the car. She had been impaled by the steering wheel and was pinned to the car's ceiling. She very obviously had not survived the accident. Yeah, there's a picture of the Honda. Look at that, man. Who would survive that? It's crazy. As emergency crews descended on the scene, the group up in Oklahoma City was notified and immediately drove to Crescent. Karen's car was thoroughly searched by several parties, and guess what? No documents relating to Kerr McGee were found at the scene.
Interesting.
Shocker. 2 joints and a bottle of Quaaludes were found in Karen's purse. So authorities ruled that her accident had been caused by her falling asleep or she was impaired by drugs and had just drifted off the road.
I mean, I get the Quaalude thing, but if the joints were there, she didn't smoke them. It's like 2 cigarettes were found.
Yeah.
She obviously had smoked them. But they exist.
A full bottle of vodka was found. We think she was drunk. Like, wait a minute. It's full.
I mean, I just think that's planted in there, but everyone else is reading the writing on the wall.
Sure.
We got smart listeners.
Well, not satisfied with this conclusion, Karen's family hired a private investigator named Bill Taylor to take a second look at the accident. He enlisted help to recreate the accident, and based on the way both sides of the steering wheel had been bent back, amongst other evidence, they concluded that Karen, despite the fact that there was Quaaludes found in her system, I don't think it was a high amount, she had been very much awake and alert when that Honda had impacted the concrete wall. He also found something initial investigators had not pointed out. There were fresh dents on the back of her car, on the bumper, like she'd been hit or rammed just before the wreck.
Who could miss that?
I don't know. The initial report did not note it. Karen's death inadvertently helped further her mission. The news of her death put the spotlight on her claims against Kerr-McGee, and government reports soon verified many of the accusations made against the company, including the falsification of quality control records. Well, 2 years later, after Karen's death, her family filed a civil suit against Kerr-McGee, accusing them of willful negligence and allowing Karen to be contaminated with plutonium multiple times. They were eventually awarded more than $10 million.
Wow.
10.5, I think, yeah.
Wow, I didn't know it would go that way.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh? So Karen Silkwood went on to become a martyr for truth, an example of a whistleblower who was determined to reveal that truth to the world despite the heavy cost. She has been the subject of many books, and like Sam said at the outset of this episode, a 1983 movie called Silkwood, starring Cher, Kurt Russell, and Meryl Streep as Karen.
I might watch that. I like movies from that era. I
bet
love
it's
70s.
on like YouTube.
I haven't watched
Yeah,
it.
you
but-
probably could, yeah. Kurt Russell, that'd be an early Kurt Russell role.
Yeah, 83, yeah. So what do you guys think? Did Karen simply fall asleep? This is a stupid question. Did Karen simply fall asleep and that's what I think happened.
I
yeah.
think she was texting. And no, obviously. Yeah, she was rammed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So
Ram man got her.
here's the three possibilities laid forth.
Okay, give me the possibility.
She fell asleep or was, intoxicated, went off the road. Or there is another one that's in between. Someone was trying to just like intimidate and scare her. Like, let's bump her car a few times and she'll have second thoughts. And then she wrecked, right?
What did she hit?
It was like off the road. It was a concrete
Okay, I was going to say,
culvert ditch
it had
thing.
to have been something concrete.
Yeah.
You know, those barrels are full of water. Isn't that interesting? So if you hit one of those big barrels, it's like takes the momentum away from you.
Or sand.
Sand, yeah, sand too.
So anyway, yeah, that was so. Did she fall asleep simply, innocently, and wander off the road? Did
No.
someone accidentally kill her by bumping her? Or obviously the most obvious, was she just rammed off the road and killed on purpose? So-
B or C.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
for sure, yeah. So there was one interview I watched where they were like, someone had to have known the road because, Oklahoma's flat and straight. All the roads are flat and straight in that area. And there's not very many culverts or ditches. So they think she was rammed in a specific spot that they knew that she was going to hit this culvert. I don't know if they were trying to kill her. Here's my honest opinion. I think that she was rammed off the road to send a message. And the attitude of it probably was, if she dies, so be it. If she doesn't die, I bet you the bitch won't talk. She'll be too scared. That's what I think.
Yeah, but the only thing is if you ram someone going at those speeds, you got to know that if they go off the road, they'll probably die.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but also there was no papers or anything. So that tells me that
Yeah, they had to collect those after she.
Uh-huh.
if she was rammed off the road, in theory, they got out of their vehicle and went and got those papers out of the car.
Yeah, they had to have, because according to Wanda, what's-her-face, that was there, Young, she said, she had a couple of binders and they were like 2 or 3 inches thick. And she thumbed through them like you would the phone book and said, this is going to nail Kerr-McGee. She said, I saw them. I know she was in possession of them. I know she left with them.
There is a radioactive silver lining to this story I just thought of.
Okay.
So if that company sucked as bad as it did, and they had all these accidents and they had like radiation leaks and stuff, some of those executives that were around, they got radiation poisoning too.
They would almost had to have, you think.
So more than likely they met like an early demise. But the B side of that is a lot of innocent people that didn't know any better got it too.
Yeah, I would like to know the mortality rate of people that worked there at that time. Are they still alive today? That was 50 years ago,
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know. That was literally 51 years ago, yeah, so.
But hey, we needed those fuel rods, guys. We had to have them. It made a lot of people rich. Because talk about, I said at the beginning, it's almost magic the way that stuff works and the way you can create energy with it.
And I will say, too, you and I are both proponents of nuclear energy.
I watched a documentary about it one time, and now there's like 7 or 8 different ways to do it that have like multiple fail safes. And
Yes.
anytime you watch any kind of documentary about Chernobyl or 3 Mile Island or whatever, it's almost always the wrong thing was done.
It's human error, yeah. And I think it scares people because when it does go wrong, boy, does it go wrong.
Yeah.
But like we said, there's fail safes in place now. When you go back and look at like the places you named, it was almost always, it wasn't just like, oh, nuclear bad. No, it was people were lax. People didn't do their jobs. People looked the other way. You know, people took shortcuts, and that's what happened.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm totally all for nuclear. I think it could be the future, but there's just such a stigma about it.
I mean, people are like, what about radioactive waste? I'm like, yeah, but it's just these pellets. And it's like, then you just got to find a safe place to put those. I mean, a lot of times they put them in like abandoned salt mines or whatever, because it's, you know, salt's an inert substance. So it can be in there and be relatively shielded in the, you know, there's places for it. I mean, if we can find a place to put all our billions of pounds of trash that we, as consumers,
daily
make, yeah, we can figure out a way to store some barrels of fuel rods.
Well, and am I wrong about this? I thought I read somewhere that the amount of waste from nuclear plants is minuscule.
Oh, it is. It's not much at all.
No, like all the waste so far from all the nuclear plants, not pants, in the country could be stored in like a couple of warehouses.
Yeah,
it's
I don't
almost
think
nothing.
I don't think it's much at all.
Yeah, so
because
anyway.
those fuel rods last a long time.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's the saga of Karen Silkwood. I think we all pretty much agree on what happened to her there at the end.
Oh yeah, fat cats with money didn't want to go down.
4174-MANTIS, you know, what are your thoughts on it? Or, you know, hit us on the socials. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. Let us know what you think, and we will see you all on the next one. Good night.
In the shadow of the pines they speak, whispers rising where the lost ones peak. Joe's got the facts that keep us informed about true crime, mystery, and so much more. Friday morning, the curtains torn. Truth and myth in the Ozark morn. It's a remedy for too much time on your hands. Just take a little listen to the dawn of Mantis podcast. They got murders, vanishings, codes and cold hollow, aliens and Bigfoot knocking at your door. In the dark of the woods, the stories hide. Disappearances where secrets collide. Coats that chant beneath the moon's grin. A world of shadows where tales begin. Every corner a whispered name. Echoed cries that fuel the flame. It's the remedy for too much time on your hands. Just take a little listen to the dawn of Mantis podcast. They've got murders, vanishings, cults and cold hollow, aliens and Bigfoot knocking at your door.